What's up YouTube? Tiffany Stacy here. And today is Whatcha Readin' Wednesday. Now the purpose of Whatcha Readin' Wednesday is to showcase different things that I'm reading, whether it be a book, an article, or a magazine that I'm reading at the time, and something I can share with all of you, or information I can share with all of you about that particular book or magazine or article. So I thought it would only be appropriate to share a book that started it all for me. Now, back in 2010, I had saw this particular book sitting on a shelf at Barnes & Noble. Something about it stood out to me more than any other book that I've ever seen. I happened to just look over and I thought, that looks like a really interesting book. It was small, but it's just something about it caught my eye. So if you're wondering what book I am talking about, it's this book, Crush It, by Gary Vaynerchuk, my most favorite person in the whole wide world. I have been following this guy for a good 6 years now. Before everybody got on the bandwagon, I've been following him, and I must say that everything that he's mentioned in this book, he is definitely a man of his word, and it's so nice to see how much he has grown since this book. So pretty much the whole idea for this book is using social media marketing to build your brand and your business. I will tell you why this book has changed my life. When I first, right before I saw this book, I was in a kind of a in the middle point in my life where I was wanting to go one way, but I was kind of feeling like I wanted to go another way, so I wasn't sure. I went to school for journalism, got out, and I started to think that, you know, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if news is for me. So after reading this book, there's actually a section that he dedicates to people that are journalists, people that work in the news. And after reading this particular section in this book, I knew that the path that I was thinking about going on was the right path for me, which was becoming an entrepreneur and a blogger, which I think I told you in my introductory video. I did natural hair videos, which really kind of started from reading this book. Now I wanted to kind of do something with that, but I ended up kind of losing interest in the natural hair stuff, so I took a break and got more involved in my video production and photography, and didn't really leave video, but just decided to go in a different direction. But anyway, I want to talk more about this book. So I will share with you one particular section that I just mentioned about the journalist, where he speaks to journalism in this particular group or particular book. Now I want to share with you a section that changed my idea of what I wanted to do, as far as not really going into news, but to go more on the path of entrepreneurship. And that part was a series of questions that Gary had put in his book that you should kind of ask yourself. And here's the first question. It says, are you happy with your present job? Like really happy, like you don't bitch and moan every Monday morning about how much you wish it were Friday night? Number 2, do you work for a company that allows you to have a public persona, either about your field or your true passion? In other words, are you allowed to have a blog, a Twitter account, or otherwise brand yourself in the public eye with an identity that is separate from that of the corporation? And then he goes on to say, some industries like finance and law will not allow this. If your passion is finance or law, do you love your field enough to make that sacrifice? Do you think you'll love it as much in 10 or 20 years and not regret missing out on all the opportunities inherent in social media? And number 3 was, if you're not allowed to develop a public persona at work, are you allowed to do so during your personal time? And so I asked myself these questions, and I thought, you know, I don't think I know that at the time, it might not be like this anymore, but I know at the time, having like a Twitter, having a personal Twitter, there was some issues with that. So I don't even want to get into that, but I know that at the time it was. But I started to think, I'm like, you know, I want to be able to still have the freedom to kind of voice my opinions, and that's not like politics and religion and all that, but it's just like personal views that I have. So I just figured, you know what, it's not for me. So this is why I love this book so much. So it really spoke to me in that way. Anyway, there's a couple other little pieces I wanted to share with you all. So another big thing that you may, if you watch Gary, he's always talking about staying true to your DNA. And there's actually a section in here that he wrote that also spoke to me. I have it highlighted. Well, there's a pencil highlighted here. But I wanted to read this to you too, because I think a lot of times, you know, in this world, we feel like we can't be the person that we really want to be because, you know, society or our families make us feel a certain type of way. Too many people ignore their DNA, however, to conform to what their families or society expects of them. A lot of people also decide that professional success has to look a certain way. That's how someone born to design bikes winds up becoming a lawyer. Or someone who loves experimenting with makeup works every day pitching someone else's overpriced brand to malls around the country. Or someone who cannot go a day without jotting down some ideas for the next poem spends most of their time at the helm of an emergency IT department. To me, that's insane. It is insane. And I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of us struggle with, is that, you know, we are used to, we think that we're supposed to be this certain type of person, but at the end of the day, you have to be the one that's happy with that decision, and you have to be the one that lives with that decision. So I love this book. There's so many good things in this book that, quite honestly, my video would be way too long. So I will just have you guys pick up this book, as well as all of his other books. I am still in the process of reading some of those. Those are more like social media driven. I'm actually in the process of reading his Ask Gary V book, and that one's pretty good. It's a really easy read, so I like that. But I'm also in the process of listening to the book on tape or book on CD for this one too, or for this book too. So I can kind of rehash what I learned the first time. So, because it's that good, I love it, and it's a quick read anyway. So, anyway, I hope this review makes sense. I have so many ideas for this channel, and so I really thought that this would be a great way to open it, because I believe that everything that I'm doing has a lot to do with this book. So, if you want to hit me up, I am on Twitter at TiffyPhotog. I'm also on Instagram at TiffyPhotog. Or you can check me out on TiffanyStacy.com, or you can find me on Facebook at Tiffany Stacy Photography and Video. And if you write me, I always respond back. I love talking to people. If you have any questions or concerns, or if you want to know more about the book, please send me a message. So we'll see you all soon. And have a great rest of the week.